sticking with EV vehicles, so we're talking about the issue with batteries, right? So right now, obviously the solid state battery is not yet readily available for many car manufacturers, but if you're interested in buying an EV vehicle for 2021, there are a lot of vehicles, and you'll be interested to find out what are the car models or makers that are has the largest range that you would consider, so that you don't have to worry in terms of, don't have to charge it every time you go out, similar to a smartphone. Every day if you go out, you have to bring a charging or even a power bank, so to speak. Anyway, so in this case, being able to determine the mileage here, there's the EPA here, or the Environmental Protection Agency, who is tasked of calculating, giving an estimate here, so to speak. So it may vary depending on the usage, but at least there's a standard method of understanding which vehicle has how much distance it can offer here. So let's see here, and so they use a standardized procedure, which is mandated by federal law in the United States, which is kind of interesting, because it's important to have a standardized process, so that it gives credence to, let's say, if you're testing a Tesla or even a Toyota or even other vehicles, that the process is by using what's kind of interesting. So they use like a treadmill-like device, a dynamometer. So the car is not actually moving; it's just the tires. So there are rollers beneath, so that it can keep on moving while the car is stationary here. So it may not be road conditions, but from charging it from full charge, and then it depletes until it's empty, and then you recharge it again, so it can give you a basic estimation here of how fast you can charge and its cycle here. So let's go to the list here of which cars should you be looking for here. So let's take a look here. Yeah, so let's look at the first one. Yeah, so you have the first one. So the Tesla Model 3. So one of the more popular EV, when you talk of electric vehicle, you always associate with Tesla vehicle here. And the Model 3, is it the performance? Yeah, the long range, sorry. The long range has it's available still, has a distance range or estimated range of a little over 353 miles. So which is not that short, but not that far. There are other vehicles that offer more mileage here, but in terms of Tesla, it's pretty remarkable if you think about it. And they have a lot of offerings, which is kind of interesting, from a base model all the way to their top tier, which is the Tesla Plaid now. Actually, the Cybertruck that they're going to offer, which is still in production, hopefully by next year or even next year, we don't know when will it be released to the market. They're stating that it's going to offer more than 500 miles of range, so which is kind of interesting here. Anyway, so let's go to the next one. So next we have the Model Y long range. So again, a Tesla model here. So the Model Y range is slightly less in terms of distance. It only has 326 miles. So it's between 300 to 400 miles here if you compare the best the Plaid S here, and it's available here. It's not available in the market in the US, in Europe, or even in China here. So let's look at another model here. So if you don't like Tesla, then you might be interested in a Ford Mustang Mac E. So now for a Mustang Mac E, now there are different variants from the GT, First Edition, and even Premium. So it has a base range of 270 all the way to 300 miles. So it's available, but obviously compared that to a Tesla, it's significantly lower in terms of mileage here. So if you're planning, you want to have maximum range here, then it's something you need to consider carefully if charging stations are aplenty for the Ford vehicle here. Let's see who's next. So then you have the Hyundai Kona Electric. Now, outside of the Tesla vehicles, you may notice they are bunched together here, the below 300 miles here. So the Hyundai Kona Electric has lower mileage, only has 258 miles. Even worse compared to the Ford Mustang here, compared to their different models there. So obviously, it looks nice. It looks a typical Hyundai vehicle here. So is it worth your money here? You have to decide there. And one of the favorite that I've seen here, the Porsche Icon 4S here, which I've seen featured in Lou Later's, not Lou Later, in Unbox Therapy channel here. So for the Taycan, or where's it? You can see here the Porsche Taycan, which is would be considered one of the more expensive EVs here from a luxury brand here from Porsche or Porsche. You'd be interested to find out that its mileage is only a little over 200 miles, 212 to be exact. So it's way inferior compared to the previous car models that we just discussed here. But obviously it looks tremendous. It looks like a Porsche. So you're trading off aesthetics for performance here. Anyway, let's see what else. Yes. So you have the Lucid Air Dream. Now this is a premium vehicle here in terms of distance alone. You'd be surprised. It's the top vehicle maker of able to go the distance, reach of more than 500 miles. So for the Lucid Air Dream edition in particular, it has a range of 520 miles, which is pretty significant. And it's going to be offered later this year, second half of 2021. They have another base model, which is the Grand Touring, which is slightly less, 516, which is not bad still, right? Still better than what Tesla is offering right now. But the question is, how much are they going to charge it for that premium distance here? But it looks a typical sedan and so forth. So here is another, the Rivien R1t. So the brand here, I'm not familiar, but in terms of mileage, it's actually significantly less compared to Tesla vehicles. It only has a stated 300 plus miles for its base model, the R1S, and then you have the R1T, so similar mileage here. Is it offered now? It's going to be offered later this month or next month, so you can check it out in your region there. And then we have the Volkswagen ID, so it's more on S. It looks kind of weird, it looks, the eyes is a straight line here. So let's see its mileage. The Volkswagen. Where's the Volkswagen? Volkswagen ID. Where was it? Did I lose it? There you go. The Volkswagen ID. It's not bad. I mean, it's not great also. It has a range of 250 miles and it's currently available. So you can check out in your current market here. Obviously, for an SUV, it's a multi-purpose. It's not more on a basic sedan here. So it depends on your usage here. But obviously, if you live in a rural area, charging stations may be not as accessible as one would like. So question here is, who is it targeted for? For city driving or for rural driving here? So we'll see. And next we have, lastly, I think that's it. Yeah, so in terms of EV vehicles, there are a lot of choices nowadays, which is kind of interesting, but obviously there's still a lot of problems with regards to the technology, with what Tesla is offering, the full self-driving, the battery capacity, the charging stations is another, and obviously the many limitations of electric vehicle. But obviously we're still moving forward. People are adopting more and more in terms of using EV vehicles. Now, I don't know in our country here, but obviously eventually a time will come where in the streets you'll see more electric vehicles than combustible engine would look like a retro vehicle of sorts, just like how vehicles of the past looks like now.